The Tin Drum, a novel by Günter Grass, is a seminal work in post-World War II German literature. It presents the life story of Oskar Matzerath, a young man with the unique ability to mentally control his physical growth, ultimately choosing to remain the size of a 3-year-old. Oskar's life unfolds against the backdrop of the tumultuous history of Germany in the 20th century, from the rise of Nazism to the aftermath of World War II. Employing elements of magic realism, satire, and allegory, Grass explores themes of guilt, redemption, and the role of art in society. The novel's rich narrative, imbued with vivid imagery and symbolism, has earned it a prominent place in world literature. The novel begins with the narrator, Oskar, recounting his life story from his confinement in a mental institution. Oskar reveals that he deliberately stopped growing at the age of 3 when he received a tin drum as a birthday present. The drum becomes the central motif of the novel, symbolizing Oskar's rebellion against the adult world, his artistic expression, and his connection to the broader historical events in Germany. Oskar's family history is deeply intertwined with the rise of the National Socialist Party in Danzig, a semi-autonomous city-state on the border of Germany and Poland. His father, Joseph Kaljacek, is a Polish immigrant who marries Agnes, a native Danziger. The couple has a fraught relationship, exacerbated by Agnes's affair with her German cousin, Jan Bronski. Oskar's paternity is left ambiguous, with both men potentially being his father. This ambiguity serves as an allegory for the complicated and often contradictory nature of national identity in a region fraught with ethnic and political tensions. As Oskar grows up, he witnesses the rise of Nazism and the increasing persecution of the Jewish community. Despite his small stature, Oskar is keenly aware of the growing darkness in his world, and he uses his tin drum to create a cacophonous noise in protest. He begins to develop supernatural abilities, including the power to shatter glass with his voice. These abilities further symbolize Oskar's resistance to the oppressive forces around him. The onset of World War II brings suffering and destruction to Danzig. Oskar, still physically a child, joins a group of performing dwarfs led by the enigmatic Bebra. They travel across war-torn Europe, performing for German soldiers and entertaining the populace to distract them from the horrors of the conflict. Oskar's experiences with the troupe expose him to the depths of human cruelty and suffering, and he is forced to confront the moral implications of his own actions. During the war, Oskar's mother, Agnes, dies from a gruesome suicide by swallowing fish, an act that is both grotesque and symbolic. Her death represents the loss of innocence and the devastation caused by the war. Meanwhile, both of Oskar's potential fathers perish, with Jan Bronski being executed by the invading Soviet army and Joseph Kaljacek disappearing without a trace. The disintegration of Oskar's family underscores the larger theme of the dissolution of traditional social structures during this turbulent period in history. As the war draws to a close, Oskar and his fellow performers are captured by Soviet soldiers. They are eventually released and return to Danzig, now under Polish control and renamed Gdansk. Oskar, still refusing to grow, tries to reclaim his tin drum, which has been confiscated by the authorities. In the process, he inadvertently unearths the remains of his presumed father, Joseph Kaljacek, who had been buried alive during the war. This discovery serves as a symbol of the buried secrets and traumas that continue to haunt post-war Germany. In the years following the war, Oskar decides to grow again and assumes a more conventional adult life. He moves to West Germany and becomes involved in various business ventures, including the black market and a successful tombstone engraving company. Oskar's decision to grow can be interpreted as an attempt to engage with the realities of post-war society and confront the moral complexities that have arisen in its wake. However, Oskar's newfound maturity does not absolve him of his past actions or those of his fellow Germans. He falls in love with a woman named Maria, who becomes pregnant with his child. However, the baby is born with deformities that Oskar believes are a result of his own sins, and the infant dies shortly after birth. This tragic event forces Oskar to confront his own guilt and culpability, as well as the collective guilt of the German people for the atrocities committed during the war. As Oskar grapples with his guilt, he is arrested and accused of murdering a nurse named Sister Dorothea, with whom he had a brief affair. Despite his claims of innocence, he is found guilty and sentenced to a mental institution. Oskar's imprisonment can be seen as a metaphor for the psychological confinement experienced by many Germans as they struggle to come to terms with their past actions and the legacy of the Holocaust. While in the mental institution, Oskar decides to write his memoirs as a form of self-exploration and redemption. He recounts the story of his life, his loves, and his losses, as well as the larger historical events that shaped his experiences. The act of writing becomes an essential part of Oskar's journey towards self-understanding and healing, underscoring the power of art and storytelling as a means of confronting trauma and reckoning with the past. Throughout The Tin Drum, Günter Grass explores the complex and often contradictory nature of individual and collective identity during a period of immense historical upheaval. Oskar, as the novel's protagonist, embodies the tensions between personal agency and societal forces, as well as the struggle to make sense of one's actions in the face of extraordinary circumstances. The novel's rich narrative, infused with elements of magic realism and allegory, challenges the reader to engage with the darker aspects of human history and to consider the role of art and storytelling in the process of healing and redemption. In conclusion, The Tin Drum is a powerful and provocative work that delves into the depths of human experience during one of the most tumultuous periods in modern history. Günter Grass masterfully weaves together a compelling narrative, rich in symbolism and imagery, to explore themes of guilt, redemption, and the power of art to confront and heal the wounds of the past. Oskar Matzerath's journey, both literal and metaphorical, serves as an allegory for the collective experience of post-war Germany, and the novel stands as a testament to the resilience and complexity of the human spirit. We hope you are enjoying the content on the Library channel. Our team is dedicated to bringing you the best book summary, recommendations, and literary discussions on YouTube. If you are finding our content helpful, we would greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts or suggestions, and subscribe to our channel. This will help us grow and continue to provide you with more great content in the future. Thank you for your support and happy reading.